you got to look at is recovering time in our shop.
Yeah, so Sarah, as we look at, from a technician standpoint, we've got all this money invested in them. We're paying them, like I say, it's not uncommon right now for us in our dealerships that we consult with. You got an A-level technician that's making 45, 50 bucks an hour. So we've got all this money, I've got all this time in there. And so what we have to do is be saying, okay, from an efficiency standpoint, how much of the time are we buying, are we actually turning into billable hours as a part of it? And so as you look at that, we would expect a technician that's a B-level technician, Sarah. So this is somebody that is basically kind of a parts changer, for lack of a better word. They do basic services and stuff, change out parts, but they're not doing heavy diagnostics, electrical, hydraulics, mechanical, things like this. They're really kind of a parts changer. So I would expect a B-level technician to never be below 85% from a recovery standpoint. So how do you calculate recovery? Well, you take your total number of hours that technicians are turning wrenches. So this is what we call productivity. So if they're there 8 hours, how many hours of those 8 hours are they actually on a work order that's on a revenue-based work order turning a wrench? So that gives us our productivity for the day. So let's say they're there 8 hours, and they're turning a wrench for 7 hours. All right, so there's an hour that we're losing. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we get into software. There's an hour that they're losing. But now I know, okay, so they're turning the wrench for 7 hours a day. I take a look at the billable hours they produce versus the hours they're turning a wrench, and that gives me my recovery rate. So out of the 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, out of that, what percent of all of the time that they're turning a wrench am I actually turning into billable or recoverable time? And I expect that, Sarah, for a B-level tech to be 85%, but no less than 85%. If they're an A-level technician, I would expect an A-level technician, Sarah, to be recovering at 115 to 120%. Okay, and we have one technician in a dealership down in Abbeville, Louisiana. Now, this is a power sports, ag, outdoor power dealership. But he recovers at over 170%. His name is Kendall, and Kendall's averaging almost 14 billable hours a day, Sarah, in an 8-hour day. Kendall makes almost $2,000 a month just in bonuses. They're working on tractors and lawnmowers, and their labor rate's $145 an hour. So when people who are working on RVs say people won't pay up, there's people in Abbeville, Louisiana that'll pay $145 for you to fix their zero-turn mower. That's not as complex as an RV. So I go back again, and Sarah, they have more work than they can get done. Kendall has more work than get done. So that 85% is the minimum I would expect a B-level technician to be doing in their job. And your service manager, as a service manager, that's part of what your responsibility is, to make sure these guys are turning those wrenches.